Hi, this is Caroline from The Happy Sensitive, and in this video I want to talk about CFS and workout videos. One of the nice things about workout videos is that you can do them when you want to, when you're able to. You don't have to deal with additional stimulation of, being in a crowded space with other people. If you're having a day where you're super sensitive, you can just kind of set it up in your own living room. So I'm a big fan of DVD workouts. But of course with CFS there's a lot of workouts that don't work very well. And there are also some workouts which will work on your good days, but then on your bad days you might be a little bit stuck for what to work with. So I just have a little stack of DVDs that I think will be interesting to check out, and I'll give you my personal commentary and why I think they're good for CFS. Know that in whichever way you choose to work out, it's always very personal. So apart from something theoretically being good for you, it also needs to somehow suit you. You need to like it, you need to enjoy it. And so for me, for example, one of the things that often puts me off is the music. If I don't like the music that a certain program has, there's very little chance I'm actually going to do the program. So it can be down to really kind of little things, not little things, but things that you don't necessarily get to try out unless you actually buy a DVD and then put it on and see if it works for you. Okay, so there's a bit of try and error here, but I'm going to give you a bit of a sense of what I think will be good either DVDs to try out or just good approaches to work with. So the first one I've got here is the Smile ME Cure program, which was created by Ron Prescott, and he got ME, which is another name basically for CFS. I mean, there's some controversies about, are they different diseases, are they the same thing? In my understanding, it's all pretty much the same thing. And he developed a special Qigong program to help him heal from ME, and it worked for him. And I bought the DVD, and I was very excited. And when I did it, I did notice a difference in my energy, and I did feel better. But there was something about the combination of exercise and the length of the program that never made it my favorite video. But I do want to share it because if you're new to Tai Chi and Qigong, or maybe you're not new to it, but it kind of works for you, it's definitely worth trying out. See if this DVD works for you. The nice thing about Tai Chi and Qigong in general is that the exercises and the movements are very gentle and they're very gradual, and there's a lot of focus on the breath, working with the breath, and there's a lot of focus on cultivating inner energy as opposed to just like sweating in order to get fitter and get your heart rate up, which is more cardio, So the whole Eastern Qigong, Tai Chi kinds of practices are generally very helpful. So this is just one of them, very typical DVD. But another one that this is perfect, my favorite. It's actually a site, and they have a whole series of Qigong exercises that they teach you. And the way that they teach you this is through a very feeling kind of practice, where they teach you how the movement is supposed to feel, because it's not about copying how it looks. It's about cultivating that inner feeling of the energy moving through your body. And this is cloudwater.com. So this is my favorite. I bought the program years ago, even before I got CFS, and then when I had CFS, I really started working with it quite a bit. And I won't say that I use it every day, because I'm one of those people, I need variety, so I'll do something for a while and then I'll do something else. But cloudwater.com, their Qigong instructions have been something that I've returned to again and again. And they're very well explained. Okay, if you've never done any kind of Qigong or Tai Chi exercises, it might be a little odd and it might be a little weird. But either way, they have a free trial you can do, so you can always get a sense of whether this would be good for you. Okay, so then we have kind of in between, because yoga is a lot more known, but in between yoga and Tai Chi, there's Drew Yoga, which, officially it's called yoga, but in the kind of stances and the work they do, if you are familiar with Tai Chi and Qigong, you'll see that they actually integrate a lot of the movements from those practices into the yoga exercises, where they have a kind of flowing way of doing yoga, which is very slow and deliberate. And it's different from the kind of vinyasa yoga things that are out there too. Drew Yoga is really nice because on the Drew Yoga DVD there's a selection of short programs you can do as short as 5 minutes. From 5 minutes to the longest one is 25, but there's lots of different practices you can choose between. And Drew Yoga is really something where you notice an energy shift quite quickly. So you notice yourself relaxing quite quickly. You get results quite quickly. I think it's a really results-oriented kind of practice. I think that's all I need to say about it for now. They also have online videos, which are of lesser quality, I'd say. There are some good ones, but if you want to start with Drew Yoga, I'd say then get the DVD, because it's much better constructed. It's professionally filmed. The online videos that they have are like additional workouts, but they're more a little bit more amateur, and also in the way that they've been set up and everything. So this is by far more enjoyable. Let's see what else. Then we've got Himalaya with Yoga for Everyone, and I've picked this one particularly because a lot of yoga practices are very long. They'll be like an hour, or even if it's just 45 minutes, but 45 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes. And what happens is if you have CFS, then very often, trying to kind of stretch into your discomfort zone is going to be way more uncomfortable than it actually should be, like for a normal, healthy person. So you're going to be dealing with a lot of stress and pain if you do yoga too much, I think. That was my experience. I'm not saying that's true for everyone, but my experience has been yoga is great, but in moderation. If you do it too long or too intensely or too much, it actually makes it worse, because it'll detox. It'll get your muscles to let go of tension and let go of toxins, which is great in theory. But if you have CFS and if you're in a really, really ill stage, you already have a lot of toxins in your body in one way or the other. And the last thing you need is to release more into the bloodstream. So this one, Yoga for Everyone, has 2 20-minute sessions of yoga, which are they're beginner. You don't have to be super flexible. You don't have to be super strong. They're quite quick in the sense that you do postures, you move through them quite fluently, but it doesn't have what a lot of yoga practices have, is you kind of feel inferior because you can't hold the pose, or you can't quite do what they think, what the teacher makes seem so easy, And with this video, of course depends on your fitness levels, but generally it really is a beginner's program. So in general, I'd say if you have CFS, always go for the beginner programs. Even if normally you would be an advanced student, go back to beginner's level, because you don't want to make things too complicated. You don't want to put too much pressure on yourself or your body. You just want to do the beginner stuff. And the beginner stuff is great because it's all about, the essence, the bases, getting the basic stuff right. So I'm a big fan of beginner stuff, to be honest. Okay, this one. So we're moving into dance now, simply because dance is a kind of, if you like dancing, dance is a very pleasurable way to work out. And if you have CFS, one of the things you definitely want to get more of is more fun things in your life, because if CFS is so miserable, the last thing you want to do is have a strenuous workout regime to deal with. Tribal fusion belly dance. Okay, so I like the music. If you're not into the kind of music, then that's something else. But it has what is really nice about this DVD is that it has like 3 options. So there's a 15-minute workout which has a basic sun salutation yoga warm-up, but done in a way that is very doable. And then from there it goes into a few basic belly dance exercises. And belly dance, I think, is really great because a lot of dance programs and dance DVDs are very quick. It's just about doing a routine, learning a new routine, doing quick paces, and getting your body to coordinate. But belly dance is very much about learning certain movements, especially your hip area. And your hip area is also where the area that is, the area where the adrenals and the kidneys are, in chakra terms, are often kind of correlated with that area. Plus, in terms of energy, your belly area is where you receive. And in the Eastern practices, the belly area is where you actually hold your energy. The dantian, it's where you actually are, collecting energy, holding energy, and where you put your focus in martial arts. It's a very important part of your body, but it's often ignored in Western kinds of workouts and Western kind of thinking. So putting more attention on that area and working out that area and stretching and releasing tension in that area is very helpful. Plus, it's also your kind of pleasure area, which means that belly dance, if you have a lot of pain and stress there, belly dance can be hard, right? It can really be a real strong workout. But once you get the movements and once the tension is out and once the tension has been released, it actually feels really good to simply move your hips. So again, it's a really kind of, has on multiple levels, it's a very beneficial kind of workout to do. And the Tribal Fusion Belly Dance with Rachel Bryce is nice because, like I said, it has these 3 options: 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and 45 minutes. And they're all extracts of the full 45-minute program. So basically, you can do a short version in 15 minutes or longer in 30, or the full program in 45. And what I found is that this is a great program to do in the morning, and then just do the 15 minutes, which even if you are, tired and your body is achy and you don't think you can do much, often you can do 15 minutes of something. As long as it's just 15 minutes. And for your body, it's really nice to know when you have an exercise program of just 15 minutes that it knows, like, okay, after this we're going to rest. It's just 15 minutes. It's not a long thing, okay? So in general, and this is just an example, but there will be other programs out there that are shorter too. I have another example coming up. But it's really good to have those so that you don't have to feel like you have to exercise for an hour or nothing. Right, you can just do 15 minutes and it can actually be beneficial. And this one is good. Sun salutation is a very classic yoga warm-up for the body anyway. So that's what this video starts with. And like I said, the belly dance moves are really great for warming up and stretching and coordinating and building awareness in that part of your body. So belly dance. Okay, let's see. So here I have another short one. 10-minute solution, hip-hop, dance mix. There's a whole series of these 10-minute solution videos. So that's really great because you can just take 10 minutes and do 10 minutes, and then, if that's enough for you that day, you just leave it at that. But because they're more intense, they're more cardio-like workouts, you can still kind of feel like you're doing, kind of the old you kind of workout stuff. Because this is my experience, but if you're doing Tai Chi and well, yoga maybe less so, but Tai Chi and Qigong definitely, if you're doing a lot of that, it's usually the kind of workouts that mostly old people do. So, and not rightly so, but it's just the kind of association we have with it. And old people tend to be more interested in these workouts because they too are a little bit more fragile. They have less energy, so this is great for them. But that means if you're young and you have CFS and you're doing these kinds of workouts, you might start to feel like a really old person, right? So if you're dealing with that, then these kind of 10-minute dance workouts that are really make you feel like, yay, I'm young, and that can really be really helpful. Let's see, what else? Okay, so this is from Kundalini Yoga. I had never really heard of Kundalini Yoga before I got ill, but this particular one by Maya Fines, Kundalini Yoga to detox and de-stress. Now, this one is really nice because it targets the adrenals. And if you have CFS, chances are your adrenals are worn out. Basically, a lot of CFS is basically adrenal fatigue. Even though it may show up as a thyroid condition, the thyroid and the adrenals work together, and usually the adrenals get burned out first. And then if they do, then the thyroid will compensate. Basically, they work together. If the thyroid works too hard, the adrenals slow down. If the adrenals work too hard, the thyroid slows down. But, if one of them burns out, the other one gets into problems. So the Kundalini Yoga really targets the adrenal area. The only thing is that I remember doing this program, way back when I was really, really ill, and even though it gave me a great boost after I did it, I also had a bit of kind of a lashback, a kind of a setback afterwards. It really did require quite a lot of my body. Somehow it really detoxed me a little bit too much. So even though it's a great program and even though it's really helpful, I would say it kind of depends on where you're at and what you can handle. So it's definitely worth trying out and seeing how it sits with you, if it feels like this might be interesting for you. But don't be shocked if you find that it's too much. It can definitely be too much. And this is a program where you kind of need to do the whole thing because it builds up. It has a whole kind of inner structure to why they do things in a certain order. Okay, so that was about the Kundalini Yoga. Okay, then there's one, Tara Lee, Elements of Yoga, Air and Water Flow. Okay, so this one I picked because it's one that focuses a lot on breathing and on more kind of basic, simple yoga exercises that really get you to focus on enlarging your breath capacity or letting your body relax so you take on, you take in more oxygen. It's simple things like that, plus they're only 20 minutes. There's 3 20-minute sequences, and you can do them all, or you can do them separately. So I would definitely recommend doing them separately. But it's simple yoga like that focuses on getting you to breathe properly, getting you to connect with your body, getting you to feel a little bit more relaxed. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for, becoming these kind of super fit and toned superheroes. We're just trying to get our body to get a little bit more calm and integrated and more in sync. So, that these kind of practices are really nice for that. Okay. Then we've got the studio by Ellen Barrett, Barefoot Cardio. I picked this one because it has a very calm music soundtrack. It's calm, but it's also supportive. So it has a bit of a beat to it, but it's very, very gentle. So it's kind of nice. It's very relaxing. And the movements that she does are very repetitive, which sounds very boring, but actually there's something about the way she does them that actually feels really good to do them. And the nice thing about having a video that is repetitive like that is that you don't have to learn any complicated steps. You don't have to try and figure it out. You don't have to feel inadequate because this is really something anybody can do. And there's a lot of, for example, if you're doing some kind of knee bend, you just do it up to the point that feels comfortable for you. So you can adapt all these things she's doing to the point where it feels like you're getting a good workout, but it's not too much. It is quite long. It's about 45 minutes, but it's very gentle. There's a very gentle kind of building up of working out. And it's a kind of workout where you're moving all the time, but it's in a very it's almost like like walking in some ways. It's not a walking DVD, but when you're walking, you're moving all the time, but it's not super exhausting to walk, right? Although if you have a CFS day or period where even walking is really exhausting, then this will probably be too much as well. But if you're in a kind of physical state where walking is okay, if you can just take it calm, take it slow, then you'll probably like this one too. Okay. The last one, okay, the Perfect Martial Arts Workout. Now this looks very Bruce Lee. It's not. By Michael Nevermind. So this one is, I picked this one because it's kind of an in-between kind of video. It's a lot like things like Tai Chi and Qigong simply because There's a lot of slow movements and repetitive movements and working with the breath. But it's not like those things because it's more dynamic, and the poses are a little bit more cardio, a little bit more physical, and so you don't have to feel like a really old person doing these things. That's really nice. Plus the whole kind of, I guess the whole kind of sense of the video is a little bit different, where these are actual fighting moves he does, especially with the hands. You know, they're called certain, I don't know, hitting with a fist, hitting with the back of the fist, for example. But then it's done so slowly that it becomes a kind of meditative practice. But there's still, you can still see how it would be hitting someone with a fist. So, I mean, it's just, if you like martial arts, and if you haven't been able to do any martial arts because you have CFS, then I say definitely try this, the Perfect Martial Arts workout. It's a really good workout for the body. It's like, well, anyway, I've noticed that after doing this workout, it's like my body feels more relaxed, there's more energy, and yet at the same time I don't have any kind of post-workout fatigue, which you will have with some programs, right? It's not like you don't feel like you did a huge workout, because every time the movements that he does start to become a little bit strenuous, he will shift them into something else. So it's not like you don't have to do very, very difficult or intense things, and if you do have to do something a little bit more intense, it'll be only a few times, and then you shift into the next thing. Okay, so that was my list of workout DVDs that I just wanted to share. There's oodles more out there for sure. There's a lot of different kinds, but this is just to give you an idea of the kind of things you could be trying and the kinds of things you could be thinking about, and then it's a matter of knowing what actually works for you. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. Bye-bye. Take care.